Hello everyone. Can anyone hear me? Hello Devon. So why have you now put chat all the way down there? Anyway. So I'm just going to be doing some animation. It's the first time in a while I've actually had time to sit down and do some, and I'm working on the Multiverse Part 2. I've got it all recorded. I've just recorded some more, some pickup lines, because I've extended a couple of the scenes. And yeah, I'm just going to see how much I can get done. I think I've got about 2 hours I can stream tonight. No, you want to be down at 25. I've got to remember how all this works. Hello, Commander Dave. Right. E450. It should be. It's got 3 scenes instead of 2, and there's a bit more interaction as well. I'm just trying to establish how different the NSDs are to the Second Empire Daleks. I don't remember actually what I was... There we go. Possibly. Oh, I hope you can't hear that. Just a second. Excuse me. Not sure if you can... Need to find... Where are you? Oh, you heard that. Hang on a second. So you can hear me, but you can't hear the what's been played on the desktop. Okay. What? Ah, I know why. Because I'm an idiot. See, don't get me wrong, I love Macs, but disruption. Right. How about now? Can you hear me now? Disruption at Okay, but the problem is I can't hear anything, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to turn that off. Oop. Hello, Warrior X269. The problem with Macs and streaming is you can, straight out of the box, you can stream your voice if you've got a microphone plugged in, straight out of the box. But to actually I don't actually use Discord anymore. I don't know where it's on my hotbar. But to record desktop and stuff, you have to route it through several things, and it's a bloody pain because then it turns off your ability to control things. Anyway, where was I? And I need to actually tell the sound what lights to affect. Nope. And in terms of voice actors, I don't actually need any voice actors at the minute because I've got so much backlog that yeah, and if I need any voices, but me and my friend Phil can handle them. Thanks for the offer though. Maybe in the future. Onzolo is a cool Dalek. I will admit it took me a little while to get the pun of his name. Right, so I need to create a second, because we've got a few science Daleks in here. Blue light there. Copy, paste. I need to call you Science 1. And then I need to also put you over there, because the way I used to do the lights, the ear lights, were I'd actually have a bulb, a little light effector in there, so it would literally be lighting up the plastic. But the problem with that is, one, it adds a little bit to the render, and when that's okay when you've got one Dalek in a scene, but when you've got maybe like 5 or 6 or more, it really bogs down the render. I'm having to render each transparent little thing. So what I do, and the effect doesn't really look as good as if you put a real bulb in a real bit of plastic. It doesn't illuminate it because you have to set it up. All right. So what I've done now is I have slowly, I'm replacing all the Daleks lights with basically illuminated textures. So it's the same texture, it's just glowing. And I can't show you that one because it is... Oh, I know why. So when I tap the effector, which is linked to the sound, so when my voice peaks and troughs, the peaks being the loudest section and obviously the troughs being the quietest section, and you can tell it how sensitive you want it to be, so it could pick up on very subtle differences, or you could only do the really high notes, like "you will be exterminated," so it would flash, "you will be exterminated," so, and of course it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? How about now? No. What is going on? Dalek, you are not obeying my... I know what. No. No, I don't. Because that should be... Because there isn't an illumination tag on it. That is why. So we need 246255. So, and now his eyes. I've been doing YouTube since about 2006. Basically, when I first started, YouTube was just basically for vloggers, gamers, and artists. It was a really nice place, and now it's just full of cat videos and... Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of creativity on YouTube, but I do miss the old days. And everyone loves cat videos. He says his last video being a cat video. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously given a lot of people opportunities, but you have to do a lot of work. I mean, artists, unless they've got paid, well, especially with Patreon now, that's helping artists. But back in the day, a 3D artist would have to do an insane and unrealistic amount of work to earn money off YouTube. That's why there are a lot of gamers, because you just sit in front of a computer, record gaming for about an hour, and you've got 2 episodes. Maybe there's a little bit of editing involved. I mean, a lot of people go over the top with editing gameplay, but that's just my... Yeah, I actually... We're talking about thought my phone was going off. PG. Apparently, some people you can't swear or say certain words. Otherwise, the YouTube algorithm will get you. So, Devon, what's happening in this scene? Basically, after the NSDs reveal themselves and offer the Second Empire Daleks basically temporal technology, time technology, these Second Empire Daleks want to know more about them, so they are basically just being examined. It's like a medical. This Dalek down here is examining the optical or the eye. This one's been going under some kind of like just induction scan or something, and there's going to be a couple of Daleks down here doing something to this one. It's all to kind of establish that these Daleks are more mass-produced and very, very basic, whereas these Daleks, they are like Swiss Army knives. They can do a lot that these can't, which would give you a false sense of security if you were a Second Empire Dalek. You're looking at these very basic Daleks and thinking, we can take these. If these guys turned out to be trouble, we could take them in a fight. I mean, hell, there's only 3 of them, right? Right, there's only 3 of them? Yeah. Hello, Steamlance. Oh, hello. And I'm happy to say, well, no, I probably jinxed it now. I was going to say that the streaming software is behaving itself today. Normally I get about an hour into a stream, or not even that, and it goes, oh, you've got bad image, something. I'm not going to tell you how to fix it, but... in these Daleks aren't the series Daleks, that's why they're blue and silver. The Time War doesn't happen in my universe, because these are the Daleks from my personal creative universe. I've just noticed. Okay, the first person to spot the error in this scene, the thing that shouldn't be there, gets a cookie. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Okay, the problem is with this scene, because I copied it from the file that MechMaster gave me, and it's set in Second Empire, quite late in Second Empire. There's a Mark 6 travel machine there. That, and this story is set way before these guys exist. So you have to disappear. So the 60s style Daleks, where they came from. Well, no, these are still 2005 Daleks. So basically these are like Daleks that have gone away, and then they've start again, Andrew. Start again. The only thing that doesn't happen in my creative universe is the Time War. So these are still Daleks. They've still got the time technology. Without wanting to reveal too much, the Time War sort of did happen, but it was over very, very quickly, because they did something, and that's all I'm going to say because there's going to be spoilers. Stimulants. I've always been interested in the Second Empire designs. I'd love to see one of the life-size ones, like the Sons of Skaro building one. There's a couple of people on Project Dalek who have built hybrids. There was one guy in Australia who was building a Mark 6, but he hasn't posted in a while. I did think about trying to build one, but I can't even build tables for a model railway, so yeah, I'm buying stuff. Oh, and I found a NSD dome on eBay the other day, so I might have to get that. So just catching up with chat. Dr. Dalek, and he's a great developer. I've never heard of him. I'll have to look him up. Yeah, well, I'm the silver and blue is my favourite Dalek livery, and the ones in that. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of that fan production. Probably gonna get some hate for saying that, but it was good. It was, don't get me wrong, it was impressive that they managed to make it, but yeah. Did the NSDs mention the Doctor? They haven't so far. I'm keeping the Doctor out of it. Just like in Second Empire, the Time Lords exist, but I'm resisting using them as much as possible because you start messing around with them and then lots of questions start getting asked. And for some reason on my Mac keyboard, some of my keys are now not working. Yeah, nice. I've managed to grab a few things. Yeah, pallets are very useful. I went the noobish route and bought all mine from B&Q. Was it B&Q? Yeah, it was B&Q. I've recently been fighting point motors. I'm learning that I really should have taken electronics in college. One minute everything works and then nothing works, then we've got shorts everywhere. 90s TARDIS locator. I hope you found it. Do the Second Empire ranks follow the official Dalek ranks? As far as Supreme and Emperor go, then yes. The Black Daleks, which they're sometimes referred to as Supreme Daleks. That's technically wrong, because I think Black Dalek is but it goes drone. You've got Squad Commander. Trying to remember from some of the others. The Gold Daleks, they were their own little thing. They were like a force leader or something. Or sometimes they're referred to as Supreme. You've got the Supreme Dalek from Planet of the Daleks, who is technically the same rank as the Supreme from the Red NSD Supreme. But the Second Empire Daleks have more ranks. They have obviously General, which is Black Dalek. They have even ranks for subsections, like they'll have Chief Scientist. I think we've heard a Dalek in the show referred to as Chief Scientist. I know we've had the Science section. But then you've got first captain, you've got chief engineer, chief fabricator, chief mechanic, which is the orange one in the screen. Then you've got secondary ranks like secondary sub-commander. Oh, you've got sub-commander as well. Bloody hell. Yeah, they have lots of ranks. I'd like to make a model railway system using the Lego. Yeah, the model railways, the Lego railways are cool. Hello, Devastator. I've seen a few people actually build their own town in a spare room, and have I accidentally set that to full render? I bet I have. Oh, no. Oh, damn it. So, do you mean the Golden Emperor from the TV21 comics? Because that would be awesome. I just want to see some different Dalek designs, not just some Daleks painted differently. Yeah, maybe the it's like it would have been awesome to see, rather than just the 2010 Daleks. Oh, for God's sake! The 2010 Daleks, they don't just simply disappear. They have like a war with the NSDs. But they chickened out. Did anyone hear about the rumour that Chibnall and the Doctor woman are leaving? The internet went mad for that. Mad on that for a second. Have I... Oh, for God's sake. So this is what happens when you don't animate for a long time. You start getting sloppy. They were also talking about female Daleks as well, and I left a few kind of interesting comments on videos saying, because someone said that there's never been a female Dalek. Actually, technically, there's been two in Big Finish, because there was the Mentor, who was basically a female version of Davros, but she was more Dalek-like. But she was a woman sat in a throne who created the Daleks in her universe. And then there's Susan Mendez, who became the Emperor. No, she became the Supreme. The Emperor hid in her head and then took over her body because he wanted to have the power of the Angel of Mercy. Well, the Daleks, the trouble is, people got to remember, just because they sound male doesn't mean they are sexless. And while maybe it would be a bit disorientating to hear a female Dalek, I don't think it would be that stupid. I mean, you wouldn't have them... Chib got an over Whittaker, it's Chibnall. That's the problem. I would agree, actually. The show's become too... Oh, don't... Steam Lance, we don't mention Clara around here. I start hissing. It wouldn't be a female Dalek, it would be a female-sounding Dalek. Um, I mean, there technically would be no reason for it. You could argue that maybe once in a while a Dalek's voice, but then you could also say that why these. Yes, the Daleks should actually be rainbow coloured and sporting the LGBTQ ABC 123 flag. Uh, just reminds me of that. Um, what advert was it? It was a Twix advert, or Snickers, with the Daleks marching around the shopping centre. Peace and love, give us a cuddle. At the end of the day, Doctor Who is about a time-travelling alien flying around in a police box, showing his companions that he meets randomly, probably through some disaster, the universe, and then realising, oh shit, this is actually a dangerous place for these people. Now, do I dare? I'm working on Multiverse Part 2 Devastator. It's not one of the... Well, I mean, I've been watching a lot of classic Who lately. I've gone a bit... I go through phases where I don't watch it for months and then I was going to binge. So I've been watching, like, Third Doctor and... just actually, mostly Third Doctor. And okay, yes, you've got obviously women being subservient to men, but I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but I don't see it as anything bad. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it was so sexist back in the day." It really wasn't. I mean, nearly 90% of the companions are female. They have to stand up to the Doctor. Yes, they say, "You're brilliant, Doctor," or "Help me, Doctor," that sort of thing. But that's kind of their role. You know, that every now and then you get a male companion like Jamie who is tough, but that's just, well. Anyway. Trouble is, you could argue about these things until you're blue in the face. Why are you still... Never mind. Why am I getting back to school emails? I'm 32. I don't want to go back to school. Please don't make me. Oh, whoops, I forgot to add the sound file. Exactly. I mean, I'm all for strong female characters, but if they have to jump up and down on the screens and, hey, look at me, I'm a strong female character, you should like me for no other reason than I've been written that way. I mean, I'll use the same argument I always use. Ripley. Not once did she stop, look at the camera and go, hey, remember, I'm a woman. I mean, the only time her sex came up in question was in the third Alien movie, and that was because she was on a prison planet surrounded by men who didn't want a woman around because they distract. I need to add a sound file. I was waiting for someone to mention Ray. I actually think Clara's like that too, because she really has no character whatsoever, and she's like Kenny. She dies so many times. Hey, hang on. Since when did Thomas the Tank Engine get political? Haven't they've always had lady trains. They had what was her name? Oh god, this is getting interesting. I've just got this image of a black 5 going past all these diesels like, oh, love, yes, go on, love it. Thoughts on the Rise of Skywalker trailer? Sidious returning is basically their way of trying to save the fandom. And, yeah. I'm more excited about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and the Mandalorian series. Really? Yeah, but oh come on, Thomas the Tank Engine is now all CGI and horrible. I mean, there's a YouTube channel that has all of, I think, like near enough all of the seasons on, and just for a laugh, I watched the ones I used to watch when I was a kid, and they're still funny to watch. I forgot how short they were there. Ace's best companion. I'm a bit partial to Perry, to be honest, but Ace is probably second. So, I think that argument about Thomas is basically the bronies arguing about which is the best pony. Oops, shoot. Probably should have turned my emails off. I actually really enjoyed reading through some of the comments, like people asking why the hell the Fat Controller is staring at someone through a bush, and then you go back and you look and someone's put the little figure in the bush. What the hell? Thoughts on Sith Troopers? Think they are clones, superhumans, or whatever? I think they're just going to be irrelevant. They're not going to be. They're going to be shown. They're going to be made a big deal of, and then they're going to get killed by Rey. Right. I actually liked the ones, but I think when I remember having a VHS of the original. I think it ended. The VHS ended with the Christmas special, the very first one, and I watched it so much as a kid. I actually wore the VHS out. Hello, the Talisman. We are currently arguing about strong female characters, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Star Wars. Who would win, the Daleks? I wondered where you're going with that. Do you know who I'd like to see beat up Rey? And I mean this in the nicest possible way. Sabine. Or Ahsoka. Ahsoka turns up in Rise of the Skywalker, and she stops her and brings back Anakin. Oh, it was a horrible dream that Ahsoka was having, and she didn't leave the Jedi Temple. Apparently... who would win, Jedi? No, wait, what? Where's... I've lost that. For the first time ever, I'm trying to find a... Where we got? Who would win, Daleks or the Sith? Depending how many Daleks versus how many Sith. She eventually covered... Hey, wait, no, come on, she was a kid when she did that. Tugs has possibly the greatest kids' TV theme song. It sounds like a damned soap opera. You know, it's like you've got a full orchestra behind it. Yes, I had a figure of 10 cents. And I say figure, but it was a solid metal thing that didn't float, which really annoyed me. Is there a door there? No, there isn't. I need to add a door. The TARDIS man, have you read all of Second Empire? Because they do kind of get lightsabers. No doors allowed, they are not needed. Yeah, I guess you're right. That doorway is a bit too big, I don't have a... what was I doing? Science 1, Science 2... Oh, wait, I need to... Nope. Delete that. Get a new camera. Nope. Sorry, it's responding to a text. Which is better, Cinema 4D or SFM? Considering I can't use SFM, I tried to actually... I was going to do a... this is back when I was I considered myself more of a brony. I was going to do a Dalek versus Pony story. And the only models I could find that were decent were in SFM. But I hate that program. I hate that program so much. Bloody keyboard. I told you to delete that head movement. Oh no. It's the wrong one. Ah. Well, if you've seen, what's that? There's a series about a Dalek and Pony versus the TF2 team. Actually, Steam, you bring up a good point, because have you noticed in every sequel, whether I mean, I'm gonna speak more of like Star Wars, Predator, Aliens, they always have to have basically recreations of scenes from the original. You don't need them. Right? Do your own thing. If we want to see that scene, we'll go back and watch the movie it's in. Which version of Dalek Tales? Because not many people know this. I was going to actually make a series called Dalek Tales before I found Second Empire. You can actually see, and if I ever did and called it Dalek Tales, people go, "Oh, you're copying what's his face." Go back to my YouTube channel. You will find videos called Dalek Tales for years before his. So, but what do I think of the series? Yeah, it's alright. It's good. It's a bit new hooey for me, but that's to be expected. Original ideas are good so long as they fit within that universe. Like, it would be like having a Dalek suddenly. Wait a minute, I'm trying to think if they've actually done that. Well, it'd be like having the Daleks be nice. You know, no. These could pretend to be nice. They could try and convince you that for some reason they have turned good, but at their heart they will always want to shoot you in the face. How do I think Sidious will come back in Star Wars? He will either be a ghost. He will either not have died, because he will probably get a flashback to Return of the Jedi where he's falling down the chasm. He grabs onto something and then flings himself in and then somehow escapes, or he force projects himself. Maybe his soul is. But if he's shown as a Force ghost, that's going to ruin Star Wars, because it's been established for many years that dark side users can't come back as Force ghosts. They can possess things, but New Who in a nutshell. Yes. I've done media too. I did 3 years of it. What do you think the next Dalek design should be? The original. I want to see the Imperial Daleks come back, actually. I'd like to see a retake on them. Because the thing with Doctor Who is, and I'm going to get back to animating in a minute, but... Pretending to be nice like in the Second Empire audio stores. Sir, you have my respect. So I've just got to send a friend a message. Steam, the Daleks in Second Empire in the audio stories, they are nicer than the other Daleks, but they would still, if a human annoyed them enough and they weren't given orders, they would shoot him. The reason that they are nice is because they're using the humans. And if you're talking about the slaves, they're following the Angel of Mercy strategy, where you trick a human into basically working for you. The trouble is the Daleks in Second Empire are lovely, but they're very complicated for a studio to make. But the Imperial Daleks were made by Davros, and they were so heavily indoctrinated against the Renegades. That's why. But remember that they were going to reprogram them. So I was going to say something about Doctor Who that annoys me is that they think that they have to stay within the timeline. If the Dalek went back to Earth 2150, for example, like he's done in the audios, in the show, if they did that in the show, those Daleks would suddenly be NSDs for no reason. They wouldn't be silver and black, silver and blue. They'd be the standard bronze. Because what they don't take into account is that you can have all the different Dalek Cybermen designs, and you can use them. So, but you have to take into account where you are in the timeline. So, after 2150 in the Earth, you could do the NSDs, but having the Daleks show up in present day Earth screws with that timeline, because now technically the humans know about the Daleks, so they are technically prepared for them by the time the invasion of Earth happens. This is why time travel is so messy. And I've just... Don't the new series Daleks count as... Technically, it depends which faction you're looking at. It's like in something Classic Who should have done, and this is going to be a rare moment of me complaining about Classic Who. In Destiny of the Daleks, it's established that the Daleks are at war with the Movellans, a robot race. In Resurrection, it's established that they were beaten by the Movellans, but the Movellans were just as evil as the Daleks, and they wanted to conquer the universe, but we never heard from the Movellans again. They should have had something else with them. Also, I would have liked to have seen the Movellan Dalek War. I know we got that snippet, which again is wrong because they were NSDs fighting the Movellans, which is stupid. Then it's also in the book, in the Resurrection of the Daleks book, which is brilliant. I highly suggest reading it or listening to it. Don't get me wrong, started on that strategy. The Dalek's made from Davros's flesh, and for some reason his flesh goes away. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh well. Wow, 11 people watching. Hello, everyone. I think that was when the Supreme Dalek thought that because Davros had elevated him, so he'd raised his conscious level, so he could think more than the drones. And the drones obeyed the Supreme because that's what they do. Why you not work, huh? Why you no work? Oh, I know why. That's better. Ooh, I need to make a new Dalek. Excuse me. No, I'm not going to use your model. Should I use... No, Trip shouldn't be there because he's chief scientist, chief engineer. No, that's the wrong version of Lex. Keep going back to that one, but Terran. Oh, I know where he is. He is here. Blender has come a long way in... I remember when it was quite a buggy software, actually. Okay, so this is Lex. He is the sub-commander of Conquest Army Zero, and I'm going to turn him into another Conquest Army Zero Dalek called Marx. M-A-R-X. He is the first captain, and I need to okay, so question is I need to borrow on Zolo because I need your red. Who isn't a fan? Oh, come. Who isn't a fan of Red Dwarf? Oh, the Ziggurat lickety split. Okay, so he has a red, lovely red fender. Where's his neck? Sorry if you can hear my chickens. A man of culture, sir. Yes. Working at a restaurant, I actually hear people that talk like that, and I was putting some stuff away in the front area, and this woman comes up and goes, "Excuse me, do you work here?" And I was like, "Yes." And I was about to say, like, I'm a pot washer, but I say I'm a kitchen assistant because I do a lot of kitchen stuff now. Anyway, so yes, I'm a. Are you a waiter? Well, I'm wearing an apron. Yes, I'm a waiter wearing an apron and a Predator t-shirt. And she goes, "Oh, you're the servant then." Servant! Excuse me, madam. I happen to be lord of this establishment. Again, sometimes you just want to punch people. The English and German, yes. I can't really do German that way without it sounding offensive. Lord of the kitchens. Everything you see here, from the door to the window, is mine. I don't think that looks too shoddy. I need the purple there because that's the purple is one of the Conquest Army Zero's colours, as well as the moon symbol. And then there was another guy who, this was quite a few years ago. He just when we opened, and he came in, and he was the only customer in because the advertising was rubbish. And he came in and he said, "My name is William, but you may call me Willie." I was like, "Oh, hello, sir." "Oh, no, you must call me Willie." All right. Okay. I'll go back into the kitchen and ignore you here. And he was sat out doing something and eating some food, and the fire alarm went off. And he goes, "Oh, that wasn't me, was it?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I mean, well, I have to say I farted quite liberally. And I lost it. I had to leave because I couldn't believe someone was talking like that. Because I thought that was a made-up voice. Never saw him again, though. I went to a table restaurant. This is my domain. From the spatula to the oven. I went to the table restaurant. Oh God, not with the Mac laptops. Were they drinking coffee? Apparently he was an expert on red cabbage. And his wife had let him out for the day. Probably while she snuck around with the gardener. Willie with a capital W. No, that's the one thing that keeps you amused in this job is the people that you meet. All the stories you hear, the waitresses. I mean, we employ young waitresses. I think the oldest we've got is like 18, so I have to be careful with the jokes and the humour that I use. And sometimes they'll get these old men coming up to go, "Oh, hello, my dear." It's like, oh. An expert on red cabbage. Do you not know what red cabbage is? It's basically cabbage that's red. Use it in coleslaw and stuff. Some of it is kept in vinegar. But then that just makes it look like beetroot. Then I need to bring another Dalek over. this Dalek is called Boffin, and he is a member of the 9th Conquest Army. He's a scientist. That's why he's in the science livery. And the 9th Conquest Army is headed by one of the other hybrids. Her name is Law. And Boffin is basically like a diet version of Utrell. He's kind of eccentric, but not as crazy as Utrell. And the reason the 9th Conquest Army Daleks are all a bit nuts is because they've had a lot of dealings with the Cybermen. More Daleks required. Well, it's purpley. It's like the wines, the red Zinfandel. So the white Zinfandel is actually red. Is that second word Langothlin? Yeah, so this Marx is from Conquest Army 0, which is headed by the first hybrid, Ryuk, and he is from the 9th. The 9th have a lot of dealings with the Cybermen. I've used... I've got a couple of other 9th Conquest Army Daleks. If I can find them. Yeah, is that how you say it? Langothlin? There we go. So this is a 9th Conquest Army Trooper. I have one in my hand right now, and I actually prefer the Axis Strike Dalek, simply because of the paint job. It just looks really, really nice, and the weathering is quite nice on it too. The stories about the Conquest Army 0 and the 9th are part of Project Eden, which at the minute is a project that's on hold. I know Langothlin is also where Dapol, the company Dapol exists. They used to make Dalek toys. Now they just make trains. Back to the Project Eden stuff. We were making... we're producing audio stories, and there are about 5 or 6 on the channel, because at the minute I can't produce the characters that I need to make. I can make the Daleks and make the sets, but the people I can't, because it has dealings with humans and other life forms, and it's basically an expanded universe story. So at the minute the only things that exist are the audio stories. And the reason we stopped making them is because they didn't get many views, and it kind of annoyed us. Oh, the go go go. That's the only... I can't... Even though I think I'm a quarter Welsh. My grandfather was half Welsh. No, he was Welsh. My mum was half Welsh. So I'm quarter Welsh. Was the Doctor Who experience originally in Langothlin? I've got some old pictures of me around some Dalek props, which... Either the cat's just thrown up or someone's having a hissy fit next door. Langfairfa. Speaking of the cat, here he is. Hello, cat. Right. I've just fed you. What's wrong? You know. The cat's waiting for me to cook the chicken I've got. Because he likes chicken. I can put on a fairly decent Welsh accent. In fact, I might try doing a Dalek in a Welsh voice one day. I've got a really nice Dalek sec. It's a custom sprayed one. One of the slim Daleks. He looks so nice. So far, now I've got a slim Cult of Skaro. Bloody Southerners. Lanverfa. Okay. Okay guys, I am going to have to cut the stream short here because I've got a hungry cat to feed. I've got to do some other stuff around the house. Didn't get as much animation done as I want, but it's been fun hanging out. Should be able to stream again later in the week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all soon.